On your note there, Bob. Sorry. Well, I'll wait for that last note to get played. Welcome. I'm Reverend Debbie McDonald. It's my joy to be here with you today. I want to invite you to come on in and have a seat. We're going to get started here in just a second. I want to remind you that anything you need to know about Seaside is on SeasideCenter.org. We try to have everything up there. Now, we do make a mistake now and then, but for the most part, it's all up there. You just go to SeasideCenter.org, click on what's happening, and it'll take you to a page that has a box for events, education, and circles, I think, connection groups. So you click on the box for what it is that you're looking for, and it'll take you to what's happening. What I want to just mention to you is, because we haven't been announcing it a whole lot, is that Deep is coming back tomorrow night, right, Kay? We talked about it first service. It's there tomorrow night, first Monday of every month for October, November, December. Deep will be here 6 o'clock still? 6:30 it starts, but you want to get here early because, you know, people line up and all that kind of stuff. So you bring your mat, bring a blanket, something to lie on it, wear loose clothes. And if you need any more information, you can talk to Kay. She's right here. But what I want to ask you to do right now is to please stand for our congregational song. All right, Seaside. Here we go. Sing it, baby. You are the light of love. I am the light of love.
in Seaside. Lots of love to all of you that are here and to all of you that are at home watching us. It means a lot that we are together right now. And hey, you're back. We had Melanie. She was bopping with you just a moment ago.
Yeah.
She was at the first service. And she woke up in Big Bear. Where did you wake up?
She did.
Yeah.
I woke up in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Actually, I didn't go to sleep. I'll put it that way. I didn't go to sleep.
that's
Just slept on the plane over here.
Well, my goodness, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
That's good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well,
No, it was really cool. Actually, I have a stepbrother, and it was my first time he lives in Jacksonville. It's my first time seeing him out there. I got to meet his children, and it was really special. So
Nice.
not only a show with Sheila, and then I got to see my brother.
oh, man, that works good. Well, hey, you're missed, but Melanie just rocked it in that first
She's
service, so
amazing.
that's
She's
it. Yeah, they had you
amazing.
covered.
So
So
much.
Thank you for being here.
Of
Melody.
course, thank you for having me. This is truly an honor, so thank you.
it's a joy. That's a joy for sure. So, okay, well, we got some gorgeous flowers today. Rich and Sharon Sylvester, they have been part of Seaside for nearly 30 years. And every year they were spending it's their anniversary down in Mexico. Then they finally bought themselves a place down there, I guess near Rosarita, Baja, I guess would be the right way. And now they're living down there, and they're just setting up their love for us. And it's got, the gingers and the heliconias. It's this Hawaiian flair with a pineapple and bananas. So, Rich and Sharon, happy anniversary. We know you're there. We love you. Thank you for the gorgeous flowers. And you know what? We've got a wonderful prayer today, a dynamic dynamo. We have Maggie, who is just about ready to set our soul on fire.
Good morning. It is my honor to be here to pray for us all and to center us in the oneness that we are. I invite the light holder, my friend, my sister, Dana, to join me. That is the light that shines as us all. Now I will sound the bowl. We can center in the silent vibration, and then I'll pray. I know that there is one mindful, powerful presence that lives as all that is. I feel its power in every breath I take. I see this power in the divine organization of nature all around me. And I know this power in the love of humanity. And because I feel this powerful presence, I know that it is living as me now. And because I know this is true for me, I know all who are here living, breathing mindfully as the spirit of oneness are mindfully powerful now and always. And with gratitude, I know this power, presence, peace, and love always.
All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is love, holy, holy.
Becca, thank you. Thank you, Maggie, for anchoring us so beautifully in prayer and for you in song. If you notice, we have Margaret Owen in the house today. Margaret's back. She has a table outside with her CDs and some lovely jewelry. I went shopping during between services and got this lovely necklace. There's lovely things out there, so take a look at that as you're leaving today. I want to welcome all of you. I'm so grateful that you chose to be here with us on this Sunday morning. I know you have a lot of choices. You can stay home in your jammies and watch online. And for those of you that are online, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so grateful for each one of you who calls Seaside your spiritual home and continue to support and be here and allow us to support you. Our practitioners are available after service for prayer, so please don't leave here with anything on your heart. We've got some real powerful practitioners here in the front row. We've got Maggie, we've got Dana. So please know they're available to pray with you and for you. If this is your first time here, if you're just finding Seaside, please know that we do have a first-time visitors package for you. It's filled with all kinds of things to just read about who we are. There's a CD. Dr. Christian's talking about our basic beliefs, if you're wondering, like, what do they even believe at that center? Oops, here's the clock. And so you can pick that up. Let's see. What else do I want to tell you? I already told you about Deep. You know what I want to tell you? Dr. Christian mentions the Sylvesters and happy anniversary. I know you guys are watching from Mexico. But you know who else anniversary it is? You know who's been married 28 years yesterday? Callie and Christian Sorensen. Yes. We are so blessed to have both Callie and Christian be part of our Seaside family. You guys have just been with us for 30 years, I mean, I can't even begin to express the love and the dedication, the unconditional love that comes from both of them. They just have loved me through lots of things, and I know that many of you can say that you've been loved through it too. So we love you. Happy anniversary. Congrats on 28. That's like amazing. To be with one person for 28 years. I know some of you have been longer. Dr. Christian's talk today is mindfully me. Mindfully me. So I thought what I could read and thought about all the Buddhist books I have and the books on mindfulness. And what popped out to me was this kind of older book of Jack Kornfield's, After the Ecstasy, the Laundry. after the ecstasy, the launch. So this is from the chapter Baba Yaga and Our Sacred Longing. The moment I heard my first story, I started looking for you. That's Rumi. Midway along our road of life, I woke to find myself standing alone in a dark wood. Dante. What is it that draws a person to spiritual life? From as far back as we can remember, we can each sense a mystery in being alive. When we are present with an infant in the first moments after birth, or when the death of a loved one brushes close to us, the mystery becomes tangible. It is there when we witness a radiant sunset or find a moment's silent stillness in the flowing seasons of our day. Connecting to the sacred is perhaps our deepest need and longing. Awakening calls us in 1,000 ways. As the poet Rumi sings, grapes want to turn to wine. There is a pull to wholeness, to being fully alive, even when we have forgotten. The Hindus tell us that the child in the womb sings, "Do not let me forget who I am. Do not let me forget who I am." But the song after birth becomes, "Oh, I have forgotten already." Still, as surely as there is a voyage away, there is a journey home. Throughout the world, we find stories of this journey, images of the longing to awaken, the steps along the path that we all follow, the voice that calls, the intensity of the initiation we may meet, the courage we need. At the heart of each is the original sincerity of the seeker, who must honestly admit how small is our knowledge of the universe and how great the unknown. And so it is. God bless you.
Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor on Sunday mornings to introduce our guest artist, and we have a very special guest, as Rev Deb mentioned already. She came down all the way from LA to be here with us. She's actually also one of UCLA's newest students, as she is studying playwriting now. And what an awesome experience that must be. So I'm a big proponent of continuing education. We should be lifetime learners, in my opinion, right? So, yeah, and as Rev Deb mentioned, please see her after service. She has beautiful jewelry, she has music, and we just want to continue to support our artists as we do here at Seaside. We're so supportive of the artists here. So without further ado, help me give a nice warm welcome to Miss Margaret Owens.
Thank you. I also went searching, given Dr. Christian's title, and I hope to do you proud. One, two, three, four.
I am consciously living, consciously loving, consciously choosing me. As I gaze out upon all that life has to offer and where I want to be,
giving it all to us. And yes, you did me proud. Yeah, that's a perfect song. Consciously creating. That's perfect for this morning. Hey, my message this morning is, I know it is. Oh, there it is. Hey, look at that picture. That's kind of, that's nice. It's about being mindfully me. That must be why it's up there. I work on being mindfully me. And it's, I've heard said, one of the toughest things to be is who you are, who you're born to be. And the world will give us everything to challenge us in that. And Emily Dickinson, she wrote that forever is composed by moments. Forever is composed by moments. It's moment by moment by moment. These moments are important, You've got to be present for it. Ram Dass, who really created a new chapter of his spiritual impact upon the planet by, remember the title of his book, Be Here Now? I mean, that's kind of important. You had Edgar Tolle really pop onto the scene with his book, The Power of Now. This now thing, this moment thing is kind of worth paying attention to. The mystics have talked about the value of being in this now moment, about being fully present. Because if you're not present now, you're going to miss out on life. You're going to look back and go, whoa, where'd that go? How'd that happen? How'd I miss that? You've got to be present or you're going to miss out on life. And so as we begin to open up to life, we recognize that, I get to decide because life is short. You realize it moves pretty quick. The more I've been here, the quicker it seems to go. It's kind of crazy. But I've come to recognize that I'm the one who gets to choose whether it's going to be a sweet moment. I get to choose whether my life is going to be sweet. I get to be mindful enough to be present with what is going on, saying, wow, okay, what's going on for me in this moment? Where is spirit here? How am I learning? Because life's moving quickly. And I can be miserable and unhappy, or I can choose to be present and experience the joy, because joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. And life happens. Went to a memorial service this week, a young man. And it just reminded me, you just don't know when you hug someone if it's going to be the last hug. Or a kiss will be your last kiss. Or the voice you hear maybe the last time you hear that voice. We don't know how long we have in this world. And to leave a moment unhealed, unresolved, is that really what I want to do? Is that really how I want to leave it? I have the opportunity to take a look and see, is this okay? I mean, Wayne Dyer, he said, everything is an opportunity for our growth or an obstacle for not our growth. But the choice is ours. Got that? And that's where mindfulness comes in, is to pause long enough to say, okay, this is going on. How am I here? How is this involved with me? And breathe in. That's what anchors your soul and your spirit. Rumi talks about, if there's a challenge there, he calls it the wound. The wound is where the light comes in. And so if there is something that is going on that is painful, what is it that is there for me? Because I've noticed this something about storms, is that they pass. Pretty crazy. They actually do pass. And when you're in the midst of them, it may seem like it's never going to pass. This is never going to be over. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but somehow we do get through it. You may remember back in 2008 when everything crashed. It was almost like 5 years there was this recession that was going on. And it's like, we made it through that. I can remember, when there was SARS, and I got tested for that, and we made it through that. And I can remember the late 90s real estate sessions. I can remember the 80s, with AIDS, you having to put your mask on. You're not supposed to touch anybody. And, we come through it. And what's important to realize is when there's a challenge, it's not the time to run. And I watch so many people walk away. Oh, that doesn't feel right, with me. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. When you take off, that is the time and the place where the tide turns. Remember that deal? You walked away from, and then it got good. It's like when you walk away, that is the time and the place that things begin to turn. But when something is out of your hands, you've got to step into a place of trust. You've got to become mindful and say, God, show me. What do I need to know here? What is it? Because I want to be me. I want to be authentic. I want to be my true self in this situation. I don't want to hide behind anything. This is me right here. And so if it's out of my hands, I might as well let it be free of my mind, because, it's like, That's just what I'm going to do. I can't do it. I got to let it go. I got to allow it to be. But what happens is we get into this chatter. We get into this mind chatter. We get into our concern and our worry, our anxiety, our emotions. And, it's important what it is we say to ourselves. Guys, it's important to take a look. And that's what the mindfulness is about, is taking a look at what I am putting in there. Thich Nhat Hanh, he wrote that those thoughts, that conversation, the words, the emotions, they're just clouds in a windy sky. And you're the sky. And the rest is just weather. It's just the weather. You got to let it be. You've got to let it go. You've got to allow it to be what it is and be willing to get going with your life and recognize that, you know what? It's not hard to do mindful practice. What we've got to do is remember to do our mindful practice. You got that? Because there's a significant difference there. Being mindful is not hard to do. You sit down, you get quiet, and you listen. Maybe breathe and anchor yourself in a little bit, but the key is when things get stirred, when the storm hits, when the mind starts chattering, that is the time to get quiet. What I've learned is electronics. I've never been mistaken for a tech guru. So, my challenge is, when something's not working, what I've discovered is that basically if you just unplug it for a little bit and plug it back in, it works again. It's amazing how that works. Well, that's how it is with us. If we could just unplug and pause for a minute, because I'll tell you what, it's that pause. It is that space between stimulus and response. It is that place where you can begin to choose. I'm going to allow this to be sweet. I'm going to, step into this moment. And Richard Bach told us that, the best way to pay for a lovely moment is to enjoy it. You can't enjoy it if you don't slow down and become available for that presence of God, is to open up to something that wants to speak to you and not get caught up in that collective wave that is sometimes moving in life. There was a man, a Turkish gentleman by the name of Bayham Mutla. And Bayham Mutla he went out for a walk one night, or he went out and his friends thought that he went out into the woods late at night and he disappeared, and they were concerned. But little did they realize that Bayham just went to a friend's villa at 2 o'clock in the morning to spend the night there. He didn't know that they had sent out a search party. Well, the next morning he woke up and he saw the search party, so he joined the search party, and he was looking for them until somebody shouted his name, and it's like, oh, they're looking for me. How exciting. I just discovered myself. It's like, that's what we want, is that excitement. I'm waking up, I'm looking, because everybody's caught up going in this direction. I'm going with them. And what I've got to recognize is I need to discover myself here. I've got to become clear, because when we pause, we become available to that presence of God. Thich Nhat Hanh, and I love Thich Nhat Hanh when we start talking about mindfulness. I grab his stuff. But he said that people have a hard time letting go of their suffering out of fear of the unknown. They prefer suffering that is familiar. You get that? Out of fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering that is familiar. Now, that's kind of strong. But I'm noticing with what's going on, people are holding on to the fear that is gripping our collective consciousness. They're putting their mind into, statistics, and because this is what's familiar, rather than allowing to emerge a vision of heaven on earth, of the healing, there's a fear, and I'm just going along with this, and I'm forgetting that who I am is really what I'm looking for, because I'm getting caught up in this crowd that is looking for something that is lost, and the truth is, right where I am is the beauty, is the wholeness. But the other stuff is familiar, because this is what I've been doing for a while. And so this is what I've been doing, and I'd rather, be in the suffer and the discomfort, forgetting that what I'm looking for is not that. It is something else. And that's why it's important to be able to quiet our mind. Because in the stillness, there's a lot being said. There's a lot of spirit that is speaking. It is reminding us to be who we are. be that expression of God. That there are always choices, as Wayne Dyer was telling us. You know, this can be an obstacle, or this can be my growth opportunity. You know, every moment, it's my choice whether it's going to be sweet. But this is where mindfulness comes in, not to be carried off by that tide, that collective tide that is going on. And as I begin to calm my mind, kind of like, you know, a turbulent water, you can't see very good when the water is all turbulent. But as the water calms, you begin to see a little bit more. You see clearer. You know, the lake that is calm, you get to see the beauty that surrounds it. The mind that is calm, you begin to see the beauty that is within, the beauty that is seeking to express itself, the beauty in which we are immersed. You know, we've got to be willing to wait upon the Spirit. You know, the psalmist said, wait upon the Lord and your strength will be renewed. There was a guy, his name is Gary Crane, and his wife Donna was in the hospital, and it was during a time because of the COVID, he couldn't go see her. So what he did is he sat out in the parking lot with his car for 10 days with a sign that said, I love you. And he just sat out in the parking lot for 10 days. And Donna said that the nurse would prop her up and she would look out and she could feel the strength. She could feel the renewal. She felt that she was going to make it. And she did come out of the hospital, and now these two are about ready to be grandparents for the very first time. And so what I want us to understand is there's a difference between waiting, just waiting, and holding vigil. Obviously, Gary was holding vigil for his wife, but waiting is waiting for this to get over, to be done, to pass, impatient, anxiety. That's just waiting. But holding a vigil is seeing that greater possibility. It's seeing the love of seeing that greater yet to be that is seeking itself. It is holding on to the love, the hope, and the possibility. That's a vigilant thought that is coming from a mindful place. So you've got to take control of your mind, or your mind will take control of you. Oh, that's a tweetable moment, guys. Put that one down. See if I can. First service didn't get that. You know, you've got to take control of your mind, or your mind will take control of you. And that's what going into that space between, you know, stimulus and response is. I'm at choice here as to how I'm going to be. If I am really in that place where the calm and the clarity is, I've got to become mindful of that no matter what is going on in my life. Because there is no large or small to the Spirit that created all of it. So the psalmist said, you know, wait on the Lord. Isaiah said, wait on the Lord and it will lift you up on eagle's wings. You know, you'll find the strength. You'll find what it is you need when you're willing to hold vigil for the greater possibility, when you're waiting for your wife or your partner or that's something else to come forward, to remember what I need to share in this moment is not my fear, but my love. This is what heals and transforms. And what you come to recognize, it's not yours that is transforming, it is God appearing as you. Ernest Holmes talks about this. You'll find it in his book, The Science of Mind, on page 146. Could we but comprehend the fact that there is a power that makes things directly out of itself by simply becoming the thing it makes? You get that? Wow, no one. I'm going to say it again then, because no one nodded their head. Could we but comprehend the fact that there is a power that makes things directly out of itself by simply becoming the thing it makes? That's how that love comes forth. It is God's love that is moving through you. Could we but grasp the greatest truth about life and realize that we are dealing with a principle, scientifically correct, eternally present, that we could accomplish whatever it is for us to conceive. You got that? Whatever it is possible for us to conceive. Life externalizes at the level of our thought. Whatever at our thought. Do you get the ramifications? Whatever. Not this, this, and that. And it's up to us to allow our thought to move to the place that we are able to embody. The highest iteration of that. And it doesn't mean Spirit's not expressing at all the levels up to that point. But I want you to know I do my best to live my life at that level of possibility. You know, that I talk this talk. I've got to live it to the best of my ability. And so, you know, I hear people question around here at Seaside, you know, questions on the spiritual, doesn't believe in what's going around, you know, and Christians not vaccinated. And I want you to know That's true. I am not. And I don't want you to be talking on the sides, oh, is it true, is it not? That is the stance that I have taken at this time in my life, because I want to operate at that higher level. And it's not because I am opposed to vaccinations. I think they're one of the great discoveries of the 20th century. I'm not a doctors. I think they're a wonderful gift of the divine. Ernest Holmes says, you got a headache, take an aspirin, if you believe it's going to work. If there's a challenge in my body, I'm going to go and get maybe some medical support if I'm at that point where I need it. So I'm not opposed. If there's a challenge, Western medicine is where I want to be. I want to be real clear that I am not anti that. I just feel I've got a healthy body right now. It has been good to me, and I do my best to take care of it, though I eat a little bit too much sugar, I have to admit. That is my vice at this time. But what I want, and the reason I'm sharing this now, and I've shared it with whoever has ever asked me, is that I want to be clear. I want to be transparent. I want you to know I've always been honest with you. I've always been clear with you. And I've always been the best I can do to share who I am in this moment with you. And yes, it's been hard to take this stance when I'm very clear the popular opinion doesn't stand where I am and what I am speaking. I've spent my life creating a welcoming place, saying our doors are open, all are welcome, wherever you are on your spiritual path. And to feel that I am part of the society that's no longer welcome. I mean, if you bring a card, it says you're okay, then you're welcome. I've never needed a card to say, I'm okay. If there's something going on, I'm going to do something about it. It's been hard. Last week I talked about how Seaside does its best to have the middle path. I tell you, there are a lot of irate people that are disappointed in Seaside that we have succumbed to the fear. And we got others who are really upset that we're not doing enough. I've got people leaving Seaside. And it's one of the toughest things for Callie and I to lose those we love. But I talked to somebody yesterday and said, hey, Christian, I just don't feel safe coming into Seaside at this present time. And I said, I get it. It's okay. I mean, we got the top of the line filters. We got a lot of space in the front row. We got 6-7 feet between each row. We are required to wear masks now. There's no more. At the end of the service, you see me sneak out the side door. I'm no longer out there greeting and talking to people. We got rid of drinking coffee. We've done it, but I get it, And it's so important that you do what feels right to you. It's important that you follow what's true to your heart. This is why I say you need to be mindfully me and to follow that. And so I talked to somebody I was sharing who's part of Seaside for nearly 30 years. Wonderful person who's not afraid to share her position on things. And said, Christian, it's just, I don't feel safe. And it's like, okay, but this too will pass. We have gone through other ebbs in our time, and I'll come back when things are good again at Seaside. Like I said, we went through a recession, we went through SARS. I'm going to continue to support Seaside. But it's the individual saying, I'm leaving, I'm taking my money with you. I don't care how Seaside's going to be in a year. I'm done. It's like, that's not good for all of us. Because it is a rough time in which we are in. I'm doing my best. We are doing our best to hold our own. I mean, take a look at the second service. It's half of what it was in summertime because there are concerns that are here. Though today there are a lot more of us together, and I'm just so happy to see you. I celebrate you. I love you. Continue to bring people. It is, and so I share this. It's like I said, it's tough. I wear the scarlet letter of our day. I know that. I know that I'm not welcome in a lot of places at this time. But it's okay, because I stand. And I want to share you why. Because people ask you, Christian, why? You might even be thinking the same thing. But Callie and I. We stand together really in our position. Not really, we stand together in our position. As you know, we have a son who's now 21 years old. Every Sunday morning he sits in my office. You never see him. I turn the speaker on over the desk so he has to hear me. And the second I walk out, he turns it off, So I know he's healthy. He thinks well. But our son is on the autistic spectrum. And it's a result of vaccinations, childhood vaccinations. It was a little baby. One day your kid's good, and then all of a sudden he's not. It's tough. Our life got changed drastically in that moment. Our world was upended. Many of our dreams and goals gone. We're on a different trajectory than we ever thought we would be. You know, it's created a lot of introspection for us at this time. And what we've come to recognize, because Trevor's going to be with us the rest of our lives, we have to be aware with him 24/7. You know, I think you can count on one hand how many times Callie and I have gotten away on our own overnight somewhere in the last 20 years. It's been a different road. We know we signed up for this before we ever came into this world. There was a soul agreement here, and it is beautiful, and it is wonderful, and it is our honor and pleasure to be on duty 24/7 for the rest of our lives. But the biggest challenge or scare is what happens for those 4 years after we leave here. And he has no siblings, families, friends. And so what we learned, and we did this through a lot of meditation, becoming mindful and saying, God, teach me, is that what we didn't do in that moment is get the information that was necessary to make an informed decision in terms of vaccination. We were caught up in that tide. You know, yeah, you get your kid vaccinated. That's what you do. And so, yeah, that's what we did. And now we were hit this pause to think. And I share that story because, you know, we've gone back, we thought, how could it? You can't. But what we feel is important is that one has information before they make a decision. Is the risk worth the benefit? We didn't bother to look into that, to know that. So our decision, our consent was uninformed. And what I feel is important is that people make informed consent. And I think what's been going on is there's information out there, and if that is enough for somebody to feel good within their heart and soul, more power to you. I support that. I believe that, and that is good. But our hesitancy is such that, you know, we've got the first year information of what comes back from such a thing. So it's not very good. But we don't know what's midterm. We don't know what happens long term. And forget intergenerational, but I remember starting at Seaside, this young woman, I could share their names, but I won't, constantly in the hospital with major things breaking down in her body because her mom during the 50s took a drug in her pregnancy that pregnant women did to become more comfortable, and it lived in her body and that whole generation of bodies for the women who did that. We don't know those things, and so our hesitancy is not because we are opposed, it's just we, Callie and I, and that's all I'm talking about, is that we want more information before we consent this time. And it's a Christian, just take a shot for the team, go do it. You know what? We've taken a shot, guys. And it is hard, and it gives me the opportunity to stand here and say, I think information before we put something into our body is our choice. Charlie, you just want to stand there? Just happy anniversary, love. It's been hard. And I just wanted to be as honest and transparent with you guys. This is where I'm standing right now. This is mindfully being me and being honest with you with our soul work. And this time, yeah. You know, I can tell you about regret. And regret isn't something that just goes away. It's not something you can drink away. It's not something you can run away from. It's not something you can pretend is not there. It's something you've got to take a look at. And there may be areas in our life, maybe that relationship with your soulmate, you know, you didn't go after it. It wasn't right. Or maybe you didn't go for the career that you knew was yours. You know, maybe you didn't take that step that something inside you said, take a step, and you got that regret. I can remember this in my life when I was 11. I've shared this story with you. There's this movie called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Charlie was one of the characters, and I was either going to be that kid or me. And they went for the other kid because he had more experience. And my regret was, for years, had I done done the play I was offered. It was called Father Knows Best, and I think it was at the Pasadena Playhouse. My dad's old. I would have gotten my equity card. It was a real play. I would have had the experience, and Charlie would have been mine, and I would have gone on to be a star in Hollywood. Yeah, that was my belief. But what I so clearly realized is I wouldn't be standing right here now in this moment. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't have met Callie, and I wouldn't be living the life of my dreams and my vision had it gone that way. And so what happens with regret is you got this illusion that gets you stuck, and what we want to do is be able to let go of our position and realize that maybe these missteps that have happened in our life are part of the dance that we have. Maybe these missteps that we have done are part of our soul's evolution to get us where it is that we are intended to go and where we are meant to be. You know, it is up to us to decide whether this short life is going to be one of sweetness or whether I'm going to be upset and take the charge and be miserable and go on the attack or whatever it is that riles the soul. Or am I going to be like Wayne Dyer and say, this experience, this moment that has got me going and stirring inside, I get to decide whether it is my growth opportunity or whether it is my willingness to have it be an obstacle for me. But either way, it is mine to do with what I choose, because there are many ways through. And I was hiking with Trevor yesterday, and so we were up at Lake Hodges, you know, and we park up on the highway, and we walk down the footpath to like a dirt road down there, and then we drop down to the lake, and we walk around the lake, and then we start to come back, and there's this one spot when you're going back up to the dirt road where they've got these rocks or boulders. It's about 10 feet, so it's not very high, and it's pretty flat. And you know, and Trevor and I like to walk up that. I mean, truth is, we'd walk 10 yards down the road and take us right to the road. But this is a challenge for Trevor. You know, it's an opportunity for him to work on his dexterity, which is not his strong point. And so, you know, I head on up these rocks, and I can see him down there. He's stuck. You know, it's like, okay, what path did Dad do? You know, can I take what did I do last time? Last time I did it was the right way. I made it. But, you know, do I do this one or do that one? Or is there, you can see his head going, and people walk by, and they'll look down on us because he's kind of making noise and wondering, and they just, man, this is something weird's going on. Why doesn't Dad just take care of him? Or others will walk by and have a great deal of compassion. You know, their experience is what's going on. I mean, we've gotten used to people looking weird at us. That's just a part of our life. And he finally decides, and he makes his move, and he walks up there in an entirely different way than's ever been walked before. And it's like all of a sudden you can see him realize that there wasn't just one way to get up there. There were many different ways. His old way, his Dad's way, his new way. And the truth is the rocks weren't moving. He wasn't going to fall. They were all going to work for him. But that's what happens sometimes in our life. We become incapacitated because we don't know. And we get up, we high five. It's a monumental completion for him. And the people who think weird things, they don't even get how courageous it is for Trevor to leave the house and to walk out in public and possibly run into a dog or a baby, heaven forbid. It incapacitates him. And if he doesn't go, he feels failure and wells up with tears and emotions. But for him to get out is a huge success, and this is a victory in our life. We high five, and what I get is there are many paths. We're all going to get there, wherever there is, to enlightenment, to a sense of oneness and connection, ultimate love, what have you. I think that's a given. The universe is rigged for that for you, so you're going to make it. But what is not a given is our choice as to how we're going to do it. Are we going to get there with the sweetness? Are we going to get there with trepidation? Are we going to dance when those missteps? You know, it's not black and white. There is not only one path to the mountaintop. There are many different paths and many different possibilities, which is why I say, you know, Seaside continues to be a welcoming place. Our arms are open. All are welcome here. We do our best to keep it as safe as possible, but a middle path, because you got people upset on both sides, and we try to keep it in the middle. And so being mindful is to hear, to understand, to listen, and then to be mindfully aware, this is me in this moment, and I'm going to courageously step forth in the bravest way I can in life, because you know what? Sometimes the toughest thing is to be me. Sometimes the toughest thing is to stand up and be transparent and say, this is where I'm at, guys, and I know it's not popular, and it's not you, but you know, this is me. You know, take it or leave it. We're going to be back here soon, but no, I'm staying, and I love you. God bless us as we do this. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Margaret Owens back to the stage. You know, she drove 3.5 hours to be here this morning. Woo! Other side of LA.
Are we ready? No, we're waiting. We're waiting a little second for Bob. It's okay. I'll figure out the tempo. Okay. I got it when you're ready. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you both. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Turn out like you planned, you'd be left behind. Tightening of your grip and closing of your mind. I can only hope you'll dance regardless of the circumstance. And the shifting tide will turn more fast to who you are. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. The good and bad in life will come to pass, for they do not come to stay. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. Staring at the same old wall will surely drive you up in. You will not prevail, telling the same tale, so just drop it. It's time to plant a hopeful seed. Turn away from the choking need. Stare at what's not wanted. There's a new picture out there. Be happy anyway. Be happy they are changing and the clouds are unclear. So start speaking what you're dreaming of instead of what you fear. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. There is so much there to share within you. Come on then, right now, I dare you. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. Good and bad in life will come to pass, so they do not come to stay. Be happy anyway. Be happy
Hold the light in the back. Thanks. This is Margaret Owens. Yes, that kind of goes well with this message this morning. Be happy anyway. Well, my goodness. It is a good day. It's a great day. It's a great day in Seaside's history and evolution, because I want you to know we have 2 new board members that have just said, you know, count me in for Seaside. And I want to ask them to stand because we have two past board presidents stepping up to be on our board. I want Robin Mitchell and Trudy McGrath to just stand up. We love you guys. We thank you for your consciousness, that sense of security that you bring, and the steadiness and the history. You know, we've been missing history, and it's good. So we love you. We appreciate your yes. And what do you think of that, man? That is high consciousness we have. Thank you. You know, we just all have our gifts to share and to contribute. And so, you know what? I want to invite our ushers and greeters come forward at this time as we do take our gifts from our heart and our soul. And just know that it is a gift that we send forth in supporting Spirit's work. And in supporting Spirit's work, what we find is Spirit shows up in our life. We begin to experience the comfort that comes from knowing that our source is divine. It doesn't matter what something is going through, or the contractions or the expansions, but how we are coming together right now. So, Bob, what you got to say? What you say? You're saying something? No, excuse me, I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Anyway, hey guys, I there just have amazing individuals stepping up, contributing. You know, we're picking up the pieces. We're making it through this time. And as you give, you just find your life expanding in the ways of perfection and security and love and peace and calm and clarity. And just find you're navigating this storm, not knowing how, but we end up on the other side somehow. So with that, I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness and the grace unfolds itself right here, right now, as we become that very expression of the divine, for the blessings that Spirit is having its way as our very activity. We are the activity that God is having in our life, and life reciprocates back to us at the level in which we are operating. So with a sense of joy, we allow our expression to be one of abundance and flow, and the richness of God gracing all that it is we do and we touch. And we find God's grace and richness and blessings coming back into our world. So it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is: Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Thank you. That's fine. It's a wrap. Those are your guys from Seaside. Thank you. Week after week there on the Poloid, Warner Buzendorf is Max. And behind him is Jerry. And that's Harley there on the bass. And that is Bob blowing that horn for 60 years. 60, that doubled. 30 years here. I don't know where I got 60. But Margaret, a long time you've been driving down here. Just thank you so much for your love and your commitment to Seaside and the family. You're a blessing to us all. Rebecca, thank you for your blessings and commitment. My goodness, that is a long haul to be here, and we're grateful you do that. So thank you. From Jacksonville, Florida to Encinitas, all before lunch. Thank you. Thank you. Rev Debbie, thank you for your Sunday mornings and your commitment and your just ability to hold the high vision and field all that comes in through the course of the week and get us back out here on a Sunday. We appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Giving us sound today is Ed. Giving us the visuals is Marv. Behind that, camera one is Tim, who has started this thing, 14 years ago? And it's just crazy time. And then you got Fresh Mac, behind that camera over there. And in the editing room, we have got Steve Grant. So it takes a lot to be able to bring this message home to you guys at home, this virtual message that is available all week long. Love you and appreciate your support. The mail-in, the notes that come with it, the way you donate, whether it's PayPal or Venmo or breeze or whatever. It's just, you guys make a difference. It's what keeps us going. So I thank you. It's a lot of joy. And we continue to find some things to keep doing around Seaside. We've got, Monday night, Kay's bringing Deep back here. And so what time is that? Starts at 6:30. Okay, so it opens at 6, starts at 6:30. I don't know how many more we will get this year, but this Monday night, Deep is here. Doors open at 6. It's at 6:30. And you bring a mat, bring a blanket, and plan to become mindful. It helps sometimes, some sound or some different ways. So it's definitely worth doing before it's gone. I see here Reverend Matthew. My goodness, I ran into Matthew at the beach last night with your friends Daniel and Kathy, was it? And they came down from Seattle or the Tacoma area to be part of Von Prague on Friday night. And at the last minute, we ditched it, and they had airline tickets, and they came down anyway. So I thank you, and it's been a joy mentoring you for all these years, and to know that you're successfully ministering in Tacoma, Washington, and just welcome, to Seaside, that's for sure. And serendipitously, I just ran into you on the beach. I was out doing this a renewal of wedding vows out there. I was doing a baptism, and there's Matthew. That's it. So it's crazy how Spirit works. I mean, it could have been any other time, an hour later. It's, the story. But that's what Spirit does. It shows up in wonderful ways. So let's pray. I'm probably missing some announcements, so that's why we encourage you to go to our website. My heart is filled with gratitude. There's a lot of gratitude today. Not everybody walked out on me this morning, so thank you. But I feel the gratitude and the love. I see the sparkle, the twinkles. We're in this, moving through this tumultuous time. And when the water is disturbed, it's harder to see. There is clarity for those who choose to pause. In between stimulus and response is that place of choice. It's that place of knowing God is good. Life is real. That life is beautiful, that it is sweet. It's precious. It's a short time in which to dance the right steps and the wrong steps, because it's all God. If we could truly believe it is all God and it is manifesting, as Ernest said, as its creation, that's you. And as high as I can believe and conceive, it is mine. Experience. I can feel that divine download of love. And this is what heals. It's what transforms. I get my illusions or the confusions or the misperceptions just out of the way so my mind can be quiet to be a recipient of the ever-available, omnipresent, infinite. God moves in this moment. It's beautiful. Feel it, sense it. Healing happens. There's a peace of mind that comes, a sense of well-being in the soul and the body. The cellular level knows what frequency it tunes into. And the divine vibration of God has its way. Feel it, sense it. Healing happens. Crooked ways made straight. The beauty of God is known. The divine unfolds its expression right here. Ways that are perfect, right? Just sense that which comes from the stillness, the mindfulness, that anchoring breath. Recognize that I am the sky, not the weather. I'm not that which passes through. I'm God. I'm God expressing His own. I know every prayer request that's been brought forth to this community is answered, is fulfilled. Our love, our spirit, our heart, our soul, our caring goes out to our beloved sister Elizabeth Brewmeister, knowing that the Spirit of God surrounds her, holds her, comforts her, brings a sense of well-being to her physical moment in this time and space. For our beloved brother, Fritz, little Fritz, he made his transition this morning. He just shared with me that he stepped on to the other side. left behind the mortal coil to expand his soul's expression. No doubt to hook up with Arlene once again, his beloved that went before him. Fritz is free of pain, discomfort, and struggle, able to embrace the freedom, the dance, the expansiveness of life. I'm grateful to have been touched and blessed by his presence, knowing he moves on with those currents of eternality, able to express himself with freedom and joy, that twinkle, that feistiness that he always was, and those left behind are embraced. Seaside is a spiritual home. It has weathered many storms through its decades, and it will continue to come through. When we come through a storm, we are changed. We have been cast in different trajectory, different frequency. Better, enriched, loved, awakened, uplifted, enhanced. Choice is ours. I'm grateful to recognize that I am that choice in all things. And so I let go to this morning. I trust it. I believe it. It is the happening. It is the truth unfolding. I let go. I allow Spirit to be. So yes.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. And now I can say, if you are discouraged, trying to make it through another day, you've gotta let it go, let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. That I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. To no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it out loud. Beautiful. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah.
Hey, and our affirmation for the week is, I am clear and confident in being me. Together, I am clear and confident in being me. Touch your heart and say it again. I am clear and confident in being me. One more time, like it's your truth, it's your reality. Let's say it. I am clear and confident in being me. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Bring back your friends and family and let them know Spirit is alive and growing at Seaside.